Hi, welcome to today's quick tip. Now today's quick tip video is all about amp stimulation, specifically the VST Amp Rack, which can be found in Cubase Elements, Cubase Artist, and Cubase Pro. Now I know if we're talking about the holy grail of tone, we're going to have a guitar amp with all of our pedals and our signal chain. But not all of us have access to loads of guitar amps and pedals, and not all of us have access to the space to store them all, and also the environment to be able to record them. I've pulled the old guitar out with some old strings and plugged it in and specified my inputs. So let's go back and start with a fresh, open version of Cubase. I'm using Cubase Elements, by the way. I'm clicking on the plus button to add a track. Now it's a guitar, so it's only one channel, so I'm adding a mono track. I'm simply naming the track, and now let's listen to how that guitar sounds clean with nothing over it. That's how an electric guitar sounds without an amplifier. So an amplifier really is the vital ingredient in adding tone to our recordings. But we don't have one. So let's go over to Inserts and search for VST Amp Rack. The VST Amp Rack has made a noticeable difference to that tone, and now it's a matter of getting my level right and making sure it's not peaking. If you've got hardware that uses direct monitoring, then make sure it's set to monitor the DAW, not the input channel, because we want to hear this affected sound. In the master section, we've got a tuner. Now, activating the tuner will bypass the master section because we don't want a tremolo or anything like that affecting what we're actually tuning. We can also go over and access a strobe tuner by clicking in the strobe on the bottom right-hand corner. Don't forget to deactivate the tuner by clicking on the button when you're done so that you can hear all of your master effects. If you're struggling with the tuner and you think I can't quite get it right in the middle, it could be because your audio buffer setting is set quite high on your audio hardware device, and that means there's latency from when you play a note to when it's analysed. That would also be a cause of any latency that you hear between when you play the note and you hear it in your headphones. Once you're tuned up, it's time to go and have a good look around. So let's first of all start with the presets. Presets are a combination of things like pedals, amplifiers, cabinets, different miking techniques and different microphones that the engineers have put together for us. So it's always nice to have a look through there. Let's say you find a preset you like, but you're not completely set on it. Go up to the A/B button and change it to B, and now go through and preview another preset and find another one that you like. And now we can use the A/B button to compare between the two different sounds. This is neat because it means we could just simply change a cabinet on the B setting and have A and B there as two different choices the whole way through to the mix stage of our project. Let's go down to the pre-effects. This is basically a pedal board that's set up before the amplifier. Exactly the same as a guitarist having a pedal board and plugging the output of the pedal board into the amplifier. You turn the pedals on by using the pedal switch, and you can move the parameters around using the knobs. It's quite easy, and it's good fun. Over in the amplifier section, we've got 8 classic amps, everything from British to American, from different eras and different genres. You've got a gain control, and you've also got an EQ, a presence, and a master control. One of the most important things with a guitar amplifier is to make sure you're accessing all of the power. So make sure you're driving it enough. For a clean sound, keep the gain down and the master up. But if you really want to drive it, push your gain up and turn your master down. Over in the next menu, we've got the cabinet section. Now this is neat because we can either have the same amplifier and cabinet, or we can have a different amplifier and a different cabinet. You can have any combination. Clicking on the handles on the left and right will show us our pre and post effects. Click on the handle for post effects to bring up yet another pedal board. So once again, we can turn these on and off by clicking on the pedals, but we can sync things like delays by clicking on the sync button. And that means we get a quantize setting, which is really neat because it's all integrated into our project inside of Cubase. Once again, you can see there's quite a lot of different pedals for you to choose from. Another huge factor in guitar tone in terms of recording is which microphone to use on the cabinet and where to place that microphone. We can blend between a condenser and a dynamic microphone, and we can decide where that microphone is placed in proximity to the guitar cabinet itself. And it's a very different sound depending on where it's placed. you've got a configuration menu which shows us the setup from the start of our signal chain straight through to the end. If you're using this on a group stereo track, you'll get 2 configurations. Over in the master section, we've got yet another EQ, which could seem like an overkill, but trust me, this is really handy for putting a low cut on or even getting into a mid-range frequency, which is really important when you're recording guitars. The master volume pedal is there to make sure we're not peaking our output, which is easy to do when you've got so many different factors affecting the gain stage. You can collapse the amp rack by clicking on the handle at the top, which is great if you want to go back and make some tone changes, but you don't want to have the full thing open on your screen, taking up valuable screen space. Over on the right-hand side, we've also got a settings menu, so we can copy the settings from one amp rack and paste it over into another amp rack. We can also save our settings as a default preset or save it as a preset which we can recall by loading it up in the preset menu. Having the VST Amp Rack inside of Cubase is great because it means we can combine it with the Cubase EQ, or the Cubase Sends, or Cubase Inserts, or even the channel strip. I'm loading up the clean model of the Guitar Amp Classics, which came bundled with some of the Steinberg UR hardware that I have. Amp simulators these days are great. You should never feel dirty about using one in a track. It's all about shaping or finding the right tone for the whole entire mix. And look, it's even about sitting at home and plugging a guitar in and putting some headphones on and wanting to play with some decent tone. I've used the VST Amp Rack on so many different instruments, even keyboards. Think Hammond, think Whirly, anything that you want to add some tone to or even just warm up. As with anything, use it responsibly. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you soon.